Hey bees, what's going on? What's the buzz about lupus for the month of May? Well, let's do a little recap, shall we? Let's first introduce our guest, Decontessa.
Hi.
Hey. Thanks for joining us today on this beautiful day.
You're
Let's
welcome.
just do a little recap for the entire month of May.
hmm
So, we know that the entire month of May is for Lupus Awareness Month. We also know that World Lupus Day was on May 10th, and Mother's Day was on May 12th. And last but not least, the Middle B Foundation for Lupus had our seventh annual Lupus Walk right here in Chicago, Illinois. So we had a lot going on in the month of May so far. But I brought you on as a guest today to talk about how your experiences raising a child with a chronic illness with very little resources. So let's
Okay.
dig into that for today.
Okay.
So while raising your child, how difficult was it when it came to purchasing some of her medications? Like, were some of her medications covered through insurance, or did you have to pay for some? Like, what were your experiences with that?
To me, it was difficult because some wasn't paid through insurance, and I had to ask people for money. I'm not a person that like to borrow, but I had to do it for my child. Um, so I went to family members, friends, and asked them, and I shared my experience with them and told them I can't afford it. I'm not working at this time, and she need this medicine, and so therefore I did. It wasn't easy because I'm a proud mom, a proud person, and I just felt as if I was begging, and I should have been able to do it myself. But everybody needs help, so that's what I did.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. Everybody needs help sometime, especially when you're doing it all alone. Can you remember any other medications that just blew your mind, like the cost of it? Hello.
Yeah. So imagine her having lupus all this time and then get that medicine, and you have to pay $366 every month, and you're not working. So it was very hard. I think it was wrong for them to have done that, but that's what happens.
Oh, I think we lost a little connection there.
We,
What were you saying about the 366?
one of her medicines was $366.43,
Wow.
and that's a lot of money every month for one bottle of 30 pills. Not even
Yeah.
60, not even 90, just 1 month. And so, being a proud mom, you have to do what you have to do to take care of your child. And it was difficult. But I asked. And when it was time to give back, I gave as much as I could. And I did pay everybody back eventually. Yes.
Okay. So that was the only medication that the insurance didn't cover. That was the highest.
No, she had two. It was
Mhm.
another one. It was I think it was 636. I forget the cents. But yeah, so two medicines over $1,000 that I asked them could they find her something else, a generic brand.
Yeah.
And they tried to help as much as they could. That was two medicines that she had to go without. It didn't harm her and do any harm to her than what there was already harmed, you know. So yeah, so that's what they had to do. Find some generic brand that wasn't so expensive, and they did.
Okay. So they eventually did find a generic brand.
They eventually did find a generic brand.
Okay.
Okay. hmm
That's cool. That's cool. So what about how many times did she spend at the doctor in a month?
We had regular doctor visits. Sometimes, I'll say regular doctor visits were 5 or 6 in a month, but sometimes she got so ill to where we stayed in the hospital, and her visits combined with the hospital stay 10 to 15 days at a time, and it's only 30 days or 31 days in a month,
Mm,
and 28 in February. So we lived at the hospital, and now that's
wow.
very difficult having two other children and supposedly working. You have to pay your rent, your bills, and so on and so forth. So I just couldn't do it all. I just had to be with her. And so that's what I did. I had a great landlord. And my other two daughters, they understood.
Okay. So I see you said you spend most of your time in the doctor at the
Hmm.
hospital. So you were with her all these times
Yeah, I
and
wasn't.
wasn't able to go to work. You stayed with your child.
Yes. At work, they gave me FMLA, time off if I needed it for her, but I wasn't getting paid. So
Mm.
I didn't go anywhere but with her, only with her.
So what happened with your landlord? Did your landlord try to put you out?
No, I talked to her. I spoke with her. I told her what was going on, how sick she was, and she was very kind, and she still is kind to this day. She said I could stay for Brandy, and when I needed help, and I got further back, I one time it was 3 months. So she and I went to Catholic Charities on
Catholic
79th
Church.
here in Chicago on 79th and Racine in that area, and
Hmm.
they paid 3 months rent, and she went with me. She took me in a car, and we drove, and she took me up there, and they paid the rent for me. So that was a blessing. And she told me if I ever, get behind again, let her know, and we'll figure it out again somehow, some way. And God has blessed me to pay her somehow, some way, and it happened, and it did, and I did.
Wow.
Yeah, she's awesome.
That's really unusual. A lot of landlords will not care. They will put you out, try to evict you.
Yes,
They just don't care. So for you to have a landlord like that and she's still your landlord to this day, that's awesome.
thank you.
So during this time, how was your mental health? I'm pretty sure you were stressed out all the time, trying to figure out where this dollar was coming from, that dollar is coming from. Like, how did you get through? How did you get by?
I had endless sleeps. I spoke to God a lot. I talked to my mom a lot. I talked to Brandy a lot. So me getting through was only God. That's it. That's all. Um, he allowed me to be healthy enough to take her, and I wasn't really thinking about too much stress other than her and her medicines and things like that, because I knew the rent I can get by with that because of the landlord. I knew about Brienne and Brittany because y'all good kids and y'all understood, so I didn't have a problem with that. And I had family if I needed to ask for anything, because I lived in the hospital with her, so I needed underwear and things like that. So I had an aunt to bring me underwear. I had two nurses from my old job. God is good. Let me tell you something. They left the job I'm at now and moved to another job, and it just so happened that it was a job where she went in Cook County, and they brought her food every day. One made sure that she was good, and one made sure she ate. So, and I rarely came home because I had everything there. Rarely came home to change or whatever because I had everything there. But I was like, God just put them in place for Brandy and for me. They left one hospital and resigned and moved to another, and that was the same place that she ended up, and they helped me take care of her while we was in the hospital. Now that's amazing to me. So God was the person that did everything for me. So it
Wow.
was less stress. I was just sad that she was sick and I couldn't help her. Being a mother and having a sick child, you want to give me that pain, but I couldn't help her. I just made sure she laughed and smiled as much as we could. So, you know.
And it looked like you kept the faith the entire time.
Yes, I did. I just
Oh,
knew uh, that God would take care of everything, and that was it. That's the only thing I can depend on. Only person I can depend on in that sense. Yes.
yeah. When you noticed that her body was starting to shut down and everything was just deteriorating, were you prepared for the worst? Like, did you prepare yourself for the moment that she was going to pass away? Were you prepared? Did you
Yes.
have life insurance?
Hmm.
Um, did you have support from your family during this time? Like, how prepared were you for this very moment?
I could tell you this story, and this is a fact. She called me in May of 2017. I don't remember the day, but it was in May. And she said she was ready. And I said no. She cried me. I'm at work crying on the phone because I worked the night shift. And I'm telling her it'll be okay. Just wait a minute. Hold on. So I talked her into staying here on Earth. That's in my opinion with me a little longer. She called me again, like 2, 3 in the morning at work again the next month in June and said she's tired, she's ready. And I said to her, just hold on, let me get myself together in my mind and my head to allow you to go. So I said, the next time it'll be your third time, you go on to wherever you had to go. But yes, I had to talk to her like that because it's her body, it's not mine. And then in January, the year that she passed, we was at the hospital and she was combing her hair. She ain't had no hair on her head. But anyway, she was on the gurney in the hospital at Cook County. And I was looking at her and I said, Brandy, what are you doing? She said, I'm combing my hair. Looking at her phone, the phone turns to a mirror or whatever. And I said, okay, what you want for your funeral? She just started telling me what she wanted for her funeral. She didn't say why, how come, why would you ask me that, what's going on. She was ready. So she just told me what she wanted for her funeral. And we laughed because she told me she want this, she want that. I said that the church can't be glitter everywhere, rainbows everywhere, tutus everywhere, and we laughed. The baby was ready. And yes, I've always had insurance on the girls. To me, she's always been sick, but the doctor could never tell me what was going on. So I got Aflac thinking that was another insurance, but it wasn't. But I prepared myself mentally years and years ago. A time will come. But those 3 times, I knew it. And so I prepared myself mentally. I knew it was her time. And I couldn't talk her into staying. I wouldn't want to because she was hurting. And in December, well, I think not December, but I asked God to take her before December, before her birthday, because it was getting so cold outside and her feet were swollen. I don't know if I have a picture of it, but it was swollen full of fluid and she couldn't walk, really. But God allowed her to walk and get her hair done and take care of everything for herself before she passed on. Yeah, so that's how that happened. Yes.
And you were very prepared for this moment. You knew it was going to happen. Just
I
didn't
knew,
know when, but you knew it was going to happen.
yeah, I knew it was gonna happen. I knew it was gonna happen. I didn't know when, but I wanted her to be at the hospital and die in peace. But it wasn't for me to do. It wasn't for me to say this is gonna happen for her. It happened the way it happened. But yeah, I was ready. She was ready and I was ready. And God allowed me to get myself together in my head that my baby would be gone. Yes. And yes, she had insurance. I did do. But yes.
Wow. Just because of you today, telling your story is going to allow other single mothers with children who have chronic illnesses, it's going to give them the opportunity to be able to stand up and share their stories as well. Before we leave today, is there any advice you can give to a mom when they're going on doctor's appointments with their children?
Be realistic. Listen to your child. Listen to what they feel, how they feel, and talk to them about passing away. Talk to them about leaving this earth. Allow them to maybe journal something. A part I didn't tell you guys, she her last month on earth, she was staying up so late. And she never stayed up. She always went to bed at 9 o'clock. Anywhere in this world she sleep. 9 o'clock PM. But she started staying up 3, 4 in the morning. So I'm like, what can I do? What I like to do? I always liked to color when I was a kid. So I used to print out color pages and bring them for her to color. So she had a container with markers and color pencils. So she colored them. Then I told her to date them. Make sure you date them. So that's leaving me something. And she's leaving me a present, a gift. And that's how I told her, you're leaving me a gift. So I have every day leading up to the day that she passed on of her some coloring sheets. But up to a parent, just always listen to your child. Don't think they're faking or lying to you. Go get them checked out. And again, like I said, just it's hard to hear yourself say, "What you want for your funeral?" But that allows them to free themselves to go on and pass on, or not leaving you alone and sad. If you talking to them, that gives them the strength to say, okay, mama is okay, daddy is okay, sister is okay. Yeah, but what I didn't do, I didn't include Brianna and Brittany, and I feel bad for that. But I know that for me, it was a relief, to know that she would be okay. She even knew the books of the Bible. She knew the songs in church. I mean, God just prepared her. And I laughed. I'm like, she know the songs at church? She never know the songs at church. She was just so ready in my eyes. And we talked and we talked about it, and it was a beautiful thing as I look back on it. I was sad, of course, but you have to have that strength, and don't let them see you cry. And if they need a hug and cry, let them cry. But you have to be strong. You have to be strong. You have to. I
Do
don't know
you
what's on the other side or wherever, but just allow them to talk to you instead of thinking they hurting you or they making you scared. Just say, baby, what do you need? Are you happy here? Are you ready to go? Do you want to go? What do you want to wear? What do you want to happen at church? Do you want to write anything down for me to say to people? Just prepare yourself and prepare them, and they'll feel better when it's time, and they know they're not leaving you in a bad way. You know, so that's what I did.
That's some great tips, some great advice. Would you also like to throw in there maybe um, bringing a notepad to the doctor for each appointment so you can write
Oh,
down everything the doctors is saying?
I'm gonna tell you this. They called me the Notebook Mom. I didn't even have a name.
Mm-mm.
I have notebooks, the ones with 80 in it. And then I was like, forget it, I got the bigger ones. I have all her notebooks. You tell that doctor to slow down, spell your name, let me see your ID. Don't give medicine. What is that medicine? That's not what you usually take. What color is that? You ask them every question there is, and you have them to be patient with you. You don't let them leave that room because doctors leave a room and don't come back for a while, and you think they're gonna come back later on tomorrow or in a couple of hours. No, they come back in a couple of days. So whatever question you need to ask, write it down. No question is a dumb question. And you don't let them tell you about your child. You know your child. You know what she feeling because she told you or he told you. You excuse me, be an advocate for your child. Always. Always be an advocate for your child. Be the other notebook mom. And they're gonna call you the notebook mom. So that's a good name. I'm proud of it. And yes, I have all of it, and I wrote it all down. Take your time, print it out. I want to know what this medicine gonna do, and who are you? You ask the phlebotomist, you ask the dietitian, you ask the regular nurses, the whatever. Ask anybody to come in that room, and make sure housekeeping clean and bleach those rooms. Okay, that's what I say.
Well, thanks, Dee. Thanks for all of the advice and thanks for sharing your story for Lupus Awareness Month. I'm pretty sure someone is going to get inspired by this story. And you've just opened up the doors for other women to come on to tell their story. So thank you. And I appreciate you for coming on. And remember, bees, we podcast on Sunday, the last Sunday of every month. So I'll see you again next time in June, 4 p.m. Central. And you can find us on social media at Middle B17 on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Until next time, bees, be safe and always remember to advocate for yourself and know you're not in this alone. We all fight together. All right. Be safe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye
All right.
bye.
Bye.